Well, we're back, and I was trying to get so much together, and we were struggling, but we came up with a solution to bring in Maria. She was my chief medical officer in my Star Trek group. She's still the chief medical officer on United. So welcome, Maria. Glad we could finally get you on here. We have our moderator for the group, lead chair, if you will, Miss Lady Gray. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And of course, we have the first lady of fandom, Miss Liz. All righty there. And my personal Lego mechanic and one of my favorite chefs, Miss Abigail Garrett. And there's Big L in the background. Our resident Klingon, Miss Patricia. And last but not least, my lovely daughter from the IMVU world and from my Klingon house, Miss Una. So, ladies.
Una should be having all kinds of fun tonight because she likes villains.
Oh,
So does Abigail. I had to bring in help tonight. Because last night I felt like I was taking up the blunt of the abuse, and Big L is back there for reserve power. We're talking about the villains you ladies love to hate. Now, not only are some of these villains male and sexy, we'll give them that, but I want to know from you, what makes a villain great and what gives you that I hate him, but I love him at the same time? This is a guy that I need to keep watching because he's evil. I know he's evil, but I just love it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Abigail.
I would have to say it's probably confidence more than anything. I mean, they know who they are. They know what they're doing. They don't care that they're evil, but they have like a plan and they're set to it. Whether it works out or not, immaterial. They are confident that what they're doing is what they're doing. That's what makes it for me.
That sounds very Jokerish.
I like jokers, so
okay, I get you. All right. Let's go with Maria. To you, what makes a villain a good villain?
A good villain is someone that's organized. Nobody wants to do any plans ahead and plans for everything.
Okay. All right. I like that.
Love you, Albie.
Lady Gray.
Kind of like we were talking earlier this week. The good guy is going to sacrifice the girl to save the universe, but the villain will burn the universe down to save the girl. And there's just something kind of sexy about that, even in a dark, twisted way.
I see we're off to the races already. Miss Patricia.
Yes. The villain has contingencies within contingencies, and he knows how far he can push, and also who he can push, how far.
All right, I can see a little bit of that. I can see a little bit of that. Okay, Miss Liz.
Well, there are a few villains out there that they'll go through anything, and they don't have a limit, and they'll just keep on pushing until somebody stops them, or puts an end to them, or if they're that bad, sometimes there's no bringing them back.
Okay.
And sometimes some of the villains are nice villains. I mean, they got like Two-Face. They've got their deep, dark, nasty, yucky side, and then they've got that side. That
Okay.
they're
I think,
there's just a couple of villains out there that I don't know. They just do it, and 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 you need to put a stake in them anyway. So
okay. Una.
His toys or her toys. Most definitely. The ability to use, if you think about every villain, they all have one gadget or another that they play with. Kruger, he's got his knives. Voorhees has another knife. I mean, it's how they use their toys that gets me. Freud has a lot of ideas of why a lot of males take on different types of stabbing type motions with their toys. But yeah, it would definitely have to be the toys that get me.
Okay. So your fellow matriarch, who doesn't like to be on camera, says hi. What's up, my sisters? Hi, Miss Liz. Lord. Let's get this done. All right. So now I'm seeing an interest in these villains. I'm seeing what you're looking for. I have an idea. So let's start naming a few, and then you can tell me yay or nay if they're doing it for you as a villain, or if there's just some other reason you may or may not like this villain. So I'm going to take one from Miss Liz's list. And then we're just going to start creatively. Matter of fact, I'll probably let Dakar take a few after I throw down a few on you ladies. I'm going to start with something kind of Star Trek-ish. I'm going to go with the original Wrath of Khan, Star Trek II, Ricardo Montalban, and I want your thoughts on this villain. I am going to start with Miss Patricia.
We can't hear you.
Your mic isn't working, sweetie.
How's that?
Gotcha. Go ahead. Go for it.
Okay. Said he is overly charming, suave, super confident, powerful, and intelligent.
She nailed it.
And Miss Liz, what do you think of him?
She just nailed it. She gave all the reasons we all like Khan, is because he's got a sex appeal. He really knows how to use his sex appeal, and he knows that he, like she says, really intelligent, knows how to use it, and convince people to do just about anything. I mean, she had that lieutenant wrapped around her paw before she even said boo to a goose, and that's all there was to it. He pretty
Wait,
much,
wait a minute. Before he said what now? Boo to a goose, Miss Liz.
yeah. In other words, he had her before she could even say, "Oh, my name is Linda," or something like that. You know, he had her wrapped around his little pinky in that,
Lieutenant MacGyver's.
honest to God, she didn't have a chance.
Oh my
And if
God.
he'd been able to, he probably wrapped a lot of other girls on the ship around his little, you know.
Oh,
He
okay.
was just that he just knew how to use it, and that's all there was to it. And like she said, very sexy, confident, smart, and ruthless.
All right. So hold on. All right. Now, Ms. Liz, I'm gonna let Maria finish her answer because we had a little confusion about who was going. Oh my God, you guys are gonna take me through the ringer again today. I can see that going on right now. All right, Maria.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Boy, I didn't hear a word she said.
Okay. She said that he was a good villain and you felt sorry for him when he blew up his ship, and he was a very sexy villain. We're still having some type of difficulties getting the sound over. I don't know what's going on that end. I really hate that, but
When she speaks, you need to leave your mic open because it's actually coming over your speakers.
Copy. All right, then. When she started saying some stuff, I started laughing. I didn't want you guys to. Oh, I didn't know. Okay. Khan was a sexy villain who could make the ladies swoon. Obviously, Miss Abigail, did you want to chime in on Miss Una? No. Okay, so we're going to move along. The car, please. Give the ladies their next villain.
Next villain would be Heath Ledger's Joker. And Miss Abby, I know that you are in a huge Batman loving house, so we will start with you.
Not my favorite Joker, but you know, he did a good job. He was a fantastic villain. I think he played the part well. You know, he was kind of, you know, here I am, I'm doing my thing, you know, deal with it. And I like that.
Okay, may I ask who your favorite Joker is?
I'm kind of, if I was going to pick one on like, well, of course the cartoon ones are always my favorite, you know, just because I like the cartoons better than the movies. But my favorite Joker will always be Jack Nicholson. Just, I thought he did the part the best, so he was always charming as Joker.
Oh.
And he would have been my favorite.
I agree with Abby. I like Jack Nicholson best too.
Everybody else kind of agree with that?
You got even Maria agrees with that. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So, you know, this is really interesting to me. You all like Jack Nicholson as the Joker, and Heath Ledger did nothing for you. Wow. Yeah,
Okay, that one surprises me right there. It really does.
The hell out of me too.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I think we're in. I think we're in for a tough crowd.
He just wasn't dressed sharp enough as Joker. Like, it wasn't the crisp lines. It was ratty clothes, and the whole movie, he's not, you know, the dressed nice suit, the hat, the vest, the bow tie. It wasn't, you know, even Cesar Romero was, you know, dressed really nice as the Joker. And Heath Ledger never had that.
Oh.
Never.
Wow.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
I felt that Keith was more real, more modernized. Jack Nicholson did wonderful, absolutely wonderful, but he didn't get into the modern psyche. He was more of a playful Joker to me. Whereas Heath, he more got into like the insane asylum type genre type feel. He went more in depth into the mind and the emotion. That's the big thing. Yeah. Whereas as Jack Nicholson, he was more of the persona, the stereotypical persona of the Joker, whereas Heath became the emotional of this is what's going on. You know, it wasn't so much as the stereotypical, and his sense of humor. You know, his the blowing up scene of, oh well, you know. I mean, yeah,
You
that
know,
was.
Yeah,
that was.
I see what you're saying, but I was always taught. My line of thought was Jack Nicholson was a psycho, and Heath Ledger was a sociopath.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it just surprises me that you guys really like that type of Joker. You know what I mean? Okay.
Well, it surprised me, and it doesn't surprise me at the same time with the conversation that went on a couple weeks ago, because most of you ladies were talking about gentlemen that were more dressed to the nines than your average playboy. So I kind of understand where you went with the Nicholson on this. So I'm really loving this conversation here.
Wait a minute. So if the let me get this straight. So if the villain is well dressed, that's the plus for you ladies.
On a physical point of view, yeah, because that means that he's going to smell good. He's going to, well, do what needs to be done. And, yeah, you would, if you went with a ragtag type of man that's all grubbed up and stuff. Now, mind you, there are villains out there that are grubbed up, and it's just like, okay, yeah, we can get down and dirty. But if you're wanting to be treated like a lady, then you need to go with a gentleman. If you want to get rough and tumble and pull my hair and make me squeal, then you want something down and dirty.
Okay.
And off to the races.
Let me take this one, Dakar. The next villain I would like to bring up is a villain from Die Hard. Wait a minute. We have Marky Mark saying something here. Wow, Mark. No, I just felt that he, again, for me, at the end of the movie, he had Batman, and I, for the first time as a Batman fan, felt like that's a Joker that can't live. The other ones, you could toss into Arkham and be like, ha ha, he, they're in Arkham. But when he said, we're destined to do this dance forever because I won't kill you because you're too much fun, and you won't kill me out of some warped sense of morality. That scared me because the man had already blew up a police station, a hospital, and he wants to keep me around because I'm fun. But according to the ladies, as long as you're dressed up, you're a hell of a villain. So I give you a villain who is dressed to the nines. Mr. Alan Rickman in Die Hard.
Hans Gruber.
Lady Gray, your thoughts on Mr. Gruber?
He was smart. I mean, he was genius level, and he was a mad genius, but he was a genius, and there's something very sexy and attractive about a guy that's that smart, even if they are evil.
All right. Miss Maria?
I don't really remember that one.
You don't remember Die Hard? Bruce Willis?
I'm trying to remember it.
Bruce Willis in the Takanawa Tower.
Nakatomi Plaza.
Okay. Now I know which one it is. Yeah, he was good too. He was dressed nice. He was polite, organized. He knew how to talk to women. He knew how to blow things up too. I like the guys that blow things up. They go boom. Yes. Oh yeah, I liked him.
I know you've been waiting for this, Miss Liz. So go ahead.
I'm a very big personal fan of Alan Rickman anyway, so I like him in everything he's ever done. And he makes a fantastic villain. And yes, Hans Gruber was extremely well dressed. He was extremely intelligent. And unfortunately, Bruce Willis knew how to push his buttons very well. And I mean, he would have gotten away with it. He would have gotten away with it the whole night, whole kit and caboodle if it hadn't been for Bruce Willis to put the oil in the water, of it, as it were. And I mean, Alan did a fabulous job of playing that character. That's all I got to say. I mean, he has played some serious good villains over the years.
All right. Okay. Miss
And
Abigail.
he just does something for me. I can't help it.
Yeah, I realize that, Miss Liz.
Oh boy.
Ooh, oh no. Okay. Oh no. All right, Miss Abigail.
What did you do? No, I mean, Die Hard, favorite Christmas movie ever, because I really don't like Christmas, so Die Hard's a great Christmas movie. But yeah, I'm with Miss Liz. I like everything he's ever done as an actor. But the main thing there is, you know, he's dressed to the nines, intelligent, smart, you know, perfect villain in that movie, you know. So, yeah.
All right. I mean, I've learned so much. I've learned so much. Oh my God. I might have to rethink some of my villains for my book now. Miss Patricia.
Well, he was smart, intelligent, multilingual, and cold and calculating.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
He'd make a good Klingon.
He would have.
All right, Una.
Yes, he was a villain because he was the bad guy, but I feel that he was very pompous. He was almost arrogant. He thought his shit didn't stink, and Bruce proved him wrong. As for being a villain, I think Barney the dinosaur did better. Ooh.
That's interesting. That's an interesting way to talk about that. That's interesting. You didn't like him as a villain, huh? Okay. Okay. Miss Gray, Lady Gray, did I ask you this question yet? Okay. So now that Hans Gruber is out of the way, let's do some of your cartoon villains. Now, Miss Abby says she's not a Christmas fan, but yet one of her favorite movies is animated and is A Nightmare Before Christmas. What do you think of Santa Claus as a villain, ladies? We'll start with you, Miss Abby.
Well, clearly clearly I love the movie, but not technically a Christmas movie. So, and Santa is the bad guy in that movie. Contrary to popular belief and people dissing my Oogie Boogie, Santa is the villain in that movie.
Miss Maria, have you seen?
I thought he was great as a villain. That was funny.
The funny Santa Claus villain?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Lady Gray.
And I didn't particularly like him as a villain per se. He was very arrogant. I don't know. He was okay. As far as bad guys go, I would like Oogie Boogie much better, though I don't know if he's really truly a bad guy, but he was definitely more interesting to me.
Oh, all right. Miss Patricia.
Could you repeat your question, please?
Santa Claus as a villain in the Nightmare Before Christmas. Santa Claus is the villain. How do you feel about Santa Claus being a villain?
Well, Germans do have Krampus, so I guess villains can kind of tag along with Santa Claus. So,
All right. Look, I'm so afraid to go to this next person. So I'm gonna go to Una first and save Miss Liz for last.
I didn't see Santa as being a villain. I saw him as somebody that was pissed that somebody else tried to steal his holiday, and he was doing what he could to get it back because that's his holiday. I mean, that's somebody else trying to that. I think Jack shouldn't have gotten. I mean, I can understand he got bored with his own holiday and wanted some excitement, and then he saw the jolliness of Christmas and wanted to share it with Halloween. And I understand that, but I don't see Santa as a villain. I see him as, hey, this is mine. I'm going to protect what's mine. So if being protective over what he loves makes him a villain, then yeah, I guess he would be a villain. But I don't fully think he's the villain type, yeah, no. I don't believe that he's a villain.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, Miss Liz. Give me what you got.
I totally agree with Una. Santa Claus is not a villain in any way, shape, or form. He was just getting his holiday back. And as far as the interesting characters in that movie, Oogie Boogie is the better of the you know. Jack should have stuck to his own holiday and go out with Sally. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay, Dakar, you got it. You've got one, don't you?
As far as the one that we just talked about, I thought the three little kids were the most evil of the villains, but that was my take on it. I want to switch it out of cartoons real quick and let's go Kingpin. And I like picking on Miss Abby, so we're going to go right to her first.
You got that from my husband, didn't you?
Oh, I wouldn't
What,
know.
us? No.
No. He said that because, he wears like the sharp dress suit and so I could see that. But not one of my favorite villains, so
Anybody else want to take a crack at Kingpin? Oh, okay.
Well, wait a minute now. He's a sharp dressed villain. He has a cane.
I mean, yeah, but okay. Hmm.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You said he needs to be shot.
Yes.
What? Why?
Oh wow.
Guy.
Well, when you start running the criminal underworld of New York, I think that, but is he not a great villain?
He did a lot of bad things himself. No.
Oh, God. I'm confused. At first,
Being a criminal does not make you a villain.
oh, damn. Oh.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
Yes, Abby's got it right. He was just a plain, ordinary, regular old, diehard villain, and he put himself into that mess in the first place.
He
He
was
wasn't
a
a
thug.
villain.
Wow. Wow. So, Halibus is a villain and he has a cane. Oh, okay. All right.
Uh-huh. I see who got the jokes tonight.
Yeah, right? Oh, you guys are killing me with this. First, the villain, he had to be dressed to the nines. We give you a villain dressed to the nines, but he's not a villain. He's just a common crook. So, distinguish the two for me and Dakar and Big L, who's sitting back there in the corner. Distinguish the two. All right. And let's start with Lady Gray.
Oh, there's just a certain it factor that you have to have. I mean, I can appreciate Kingpin as, he did dress very well and everything, but to me, he was a street thug trying to that thought if he put on a fancy suit, it made him it, and it didn't. It was like it was a false, I don't know. So you got to talk the talk and walk the walk, but it's got to be all of you, not just a front you put on.
Okay. Well, damn. Oh, wow. Okay, Miss Abigail, you
Well, I have the little commenter back here, And in his words, it's because Kingpin was a big dude. No, it's because Kingpin was a criminal, not a villain. Because how many times do you see him attacking the good guy or trying to destroy the good guy? He's just out to make money. That makes him a criminal, not a villain.
Wow. Okay. We need to have you all on some comic book panels, man. I'm telling you, you ladies are killing it. Miss Patricia, do you agree with this assessment?
I will agree only because I'm not too familiar with that movie.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Miss Liz.
I agree with Abby 100%. He was a dressed up thug.
Yep.
All right.
I'm oh my gosh. and so that Una, I'm supposing you're agreeing with this.
Nope. I have never seen the movie. So I'm going to agree that it's a bad guy.
There you go.
Okay, so to sum up villains, and I'm gonna go back because now I want to see. We've talked about all these human villains. This is a great Disney villain. Yes, I believe so too. I agree with Marky Mark that the Daredevil show that was on Netflix was a great portrayal of Kingpin. I thought he was awesome. I just thought it was awesome. But let's go with Scar as a villain. And let's start with Una.
You mean Scar like in the Lion King?
Scar the Lion King. Disney.
I think he was very selfish. Extremely selfish. Even to the point of destroying the kingdom for his own vanity. He was only looking out for himself and used anybody that he could for himself. He was a dick, plain and simple.
So he's not a good villain. He's just a dick.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would say he is a good villain. Yeah, I mean, he has all the parts that you would think that a villain needs or wants. But I mean, does he betray people? Yes. Does he have some type of mental disability? Yes. I would say that he's a narcissist. Yeah, he definitely fits a villain type genre.
All right. Uh-oh. Okay, Miss Liz. Fire away.
I agree with her on 100% all of it. He's definitely a villain, but he's not the likable kind of villain. He's the kind of villain you want to take him off and drop him off into the Grand Canyon and let him be by himself so he can be narcissistic to himself.
Beat him like a rug.
What?
Beat him like a rug. Yeah.
That was my favorite part of Hercules.
Make him into a rug. Yeah, he likes to be a center. He likes to be the center of attention. Let's make him the center of attention as a rug, and everybody will walk on him.
Lady Gray.
That's a great idea.
Lady Gray, your thoughts on Scar?
It's so I had an epiphany while you guys were talking. For me, at least, what makes a good villain is the character arc. So if he's so beyond redemption that you just want to, like Miss Liz said, just take him off and get rid of him, and then that's not appealing to me. You've got to have something redeemable. I don't know. My son always picks on me because he says I love a good redemption arc, but there's got to be some spark in the villain for me to like him, and I didn't see that in Scar. And it's the same thing with Kingpin. I didn't see it in Kingpin either. There just was nothing redeemable about him.
Okay, so now we're kind of getting somewhere. A redeemable factor to this dressed to the nines character who is more than a criminal, and he has to get his own hands dirty. Okay. Very few villains pull that feat off. Let me ask you this. Have all of you seen the last two Avengers movies? Infinity Gauntlet thing and Endgame?
Yeah.
Nah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
I did.
here's my question. Thanos as your villain. Oh well, okay. Mark's got a good one too. Mark's got a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll do this one after Thanos. Okay, we're gonna do Lex Luthor after Thanos, but I want your take on Thanos. This was a guy out to save the universe by getting rid of half of it. There's a redemption arc somewhere in that story. My question is to you guys now. I don't know if he was dressed to the nines, but this man got his hands dirty doing his deed.
Yes, he did.
So I'm going to start with Miss Maria, and then Wyatt, I'll let you choose where we go from there. So Miss Maria, your take on Thanos.
No, he wasn't dressed to the nines, but he did get his hands dirty, and he did. I don't think he should have did what he did, getting rid of half the universe.
Okay.
He was a bad guy. He was a villain.
Now that's a villain. Do you consider him a good mega villain? I mean, is he a top tier villain?
Yes, he is a top tier villain. Villain to the core.
All right. Okay. All right, sir, take it over.
We're going to skip Miss Una on this one because I know she hasn't seen the movies. Let's go to Miss Lady Gray on that.
I think in some ways he was a little bit relatable because, I mean, if you ever have been out in a crowded place or whatever and you look around and there's all these dingbats and you're like, you know what? Thanos was right. Half these people can go away. You know, there are days at work I just am like, yeah, Thanos was right. So while, you know, I wouldn't call him my favorite, I can't get by the whole purple grimace looking thing. I did find him somewhat relatable in a kind of frustrated sort of way.
All right. Miss Lee is.
There's nothing redeemable about Thanos because he thought he was God and tried to act like God, and he was so wrong. All because he thought he could. It doesn't work that way. You cannot solve the universe's problem by getting rid of. Look at the more trouble, the chaos he caused by doing what he did. He caused more chaos than there was. You know. So he was definitely wrong.
Okay. Miss Patricia.
Haven't seen it.
Okay, then we will move on to Miss Abby.
I don't know. I'm kind of mixed about it. I was thinking, you know, he made a pretty decent villain. And then my husband's back here like shouting that, you know, he wasn't a villain because, you know, from his world and his people, cutting down half the population had always worked for him. It had worked on like every other planet, every other universe he had been in, because they had been doing it on planets like the whole entire time, like deleting half the population, and it was working. So I don't necessarily know that he was wrong. I mean, it kind of, you know, sucked for our heroes in that scenario and like the people, but like, maybe not necessarily wrong.
See, now the point you just said is actually a really good point. I really enjoy what you just said, because we know that history is written by the winners. So the winners usually get to say who the villain really was. So I like what you just said.
Well, and he snapped his fingers and he kind of went off just to be by himself, just to enjoy the peace and quiet after that. He's like, okay, I've done it. I'm good. Let me go retire. So, and that's what he did. He just snapped his fingers and then he went and retired. They found him living, you know, a normal life on his own. So,
Okay. Now let's jump into the horror genre for a minute. We know there's villains all throughout the horror world. So let's go to one of the most popular over the 80s and say Freddy Krueger. And I'll start with my darling wife there, because I know she has her own take on him.
I don't believe that he was a villain. Krueger was very misunderstood. In the novelizations that I read about him, his daughter was stolen, so therefore he stole the other people's children. And then through the movies, it was pretty much stated that, you know, he was a child killer, possibly a molester or a pedophile. In the novelizations, he was not. He was getting redemption for the death of his child. In one part of the movies, she was put into childcare and not killed. So, I mean, there's a lot of different areas where he became a villain. I don't think he's a villain. I don't think Krueger is a villain. Does he get some awesome toys? Oh, yeah. But as for a villain, I don't think so. I think he was just doing what any parent would do. You take my child, I'll take yours. But that's human nature. We're taught not to go and you know, hurt the other person, even though it's human nature that you hurt me, an eye for an eye, per se. But we're taught not to do that. That it's not civilized to do that. But the most rawest form of emotion is to get back what's yours. You know, that was his whole reason for doing it, is because his only child, his girl child, at that, was taken from him. And
but didn't he come back to kill him in the movie? I mean, I get it that he's trying to redeem and get back, but he went into generations of dreams killing.
The reason why he was going into generations, when his daughter was taken, he killed the people that took his daughter. The social worker, the people that were involved in taking his daughter were the ones that he killed. And he killed their children, not the adults. When the adults came back to retaliate of, hey, you just killed my kid. Never mind that I took your child away from you. You just killed my kid. So therefore, I'm going to kill you. Doesn't make sense. But that's what happened. They torched him in his shed. So during that time that he was getting killed, demons came to him and said, hey, we got a way you can get this shit back. You can redeem. You can't get your kid back, but we can make it feel a little better. We're going to give you this deal. Hence, how he's able to enter into the dreams and kill the children of the ones that killed him. Because
Okay.
first they killed his heart, and like any parent, the child is your soul. That's how you live on. That's your legacy. So by them taking away his child, they took away his legacy. By him being able to kill within the dreams, he was carrying on his legacy. His soul was living on. So for being a villain, no. I just think that he was a parent that said, screw this. I got a bad deal, and y'all ain't going to make me pay for it.
But that's a villain. When you go that far, you just defined a villain. When you go that far and you know right from wrong, whether they took your child or not, and you make a deal with demons, you are pretty much vilified.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he looks good at doing it.
Oh, I'll give you that. I mean, you know, I'm still remembering "Welcome to Primetime, bitch," and he slammed the girl into the TV. So, and that's another thing about him. He went from being scary to us going to the movie theaters, rooting for him to kill the children. He became like, you know, hey, all right, that's cool. We got to root for him. I think like after what, Nightmare on Elm Street 3 or 4, we started rooting for him.
Yeah. Yeah, because he became like almost like an anti-hero.
Yeah.
You know, and that right there, you know, where these entitled children, you know, they screwed up in the one where they were, I think it was part 4, where they were in the sleeping kids. They couldn't sleep in the hospital, and one was a drug addict and a prostitute. One tried committing suicide numerous times, so he obviously didn't value his life. So why should Freddy? Same thing with the girl with the drugs and the prostitution. She didn't value her life. She didn't value her body. So I mean, that's kind of a Saw part thing right there too, with Jigsaw.
Well, it's also, I mean, in every horror movie, you know, you're not supposed to have sex or whatever, and then somebody gets killed because they're having sex. You know, I mean, it's and it never ceases to amaze me. You're in this house or whatever, and it's always abandoned, and the first thing somebody wants to do, Mark says that was 3. The teenagers always run off to go have sex, and they're dead. All right, so everybody else's take. You want to finish up, Wyatt? You want me to take it?
Go ahead.
All right, Miss Maria, what is your take on the Fred Krueger thing?
I consider him a villain. I considered him just a bad guy.
Oh.
All the things that he had done.
Okay. So we have another simple bad guy.
Bad guy, and he had things wrong with his brain, and he needed help, and yeah, bad guy.
Okay.
But he did it for so long, he did turn into a villain. What was there, 6 movies?
To be honest with you, I lost count. I mean,
so did I.
Back in the day, it was great, but then, you know, you had Freddy versus Jason.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it just kind of got, after a while, it just kind of got redundant, you know, because you knew what he was going to do. And then, of course, they rebooted it. And
yeah, he was a bad guy. And then in the end, he was a villain. He kept doing it.
All right.
Kept killing kids, killing them and killing them.
Okay. Miss Abby?
I mean, I think we just started rooting for him because the teenagers that they started having that were the teenagers that were on there just became deplorable. I mean, just horrible, horrible people that you just wanted to see die. I mean, at a certain point, you're just like, please die. Please kill them because the characters were just horrible. So that's why we root for him.
So I think Una had a point then that after a
Right.
while he was just like, I'm gonna kill them all. Kill them all. Oh my God. Miss Lady Gray.
I've never read the novelization. That actually is interesting. Maybe I'll have to go do that sometime. Because that kind of puts a whole different spin on it, But as far as bad guy or villain, I mean, he was definitely interesting. So I've only seen a few of the movies. I haven't seen all of them, but he definitely was interesting. He didn't make me, want to turn the TV off like some of them do. So he gets points for that, I guess.
All right. Miss Patricia,
I haven't seen it.
you have not seen any of the Nightmare on. That's right. You were in Germany. That's right. Okay, Miss Liz.
I don't watch horror movies.
Yeah, she doesn't watch horror movies.
I do not watch anything / kill horror movies.
All right,
I'm
well,
not
let's
into,
start
I'm
with
not
you.
into the bloodbath. Thank you very much.
Let's start with you on Mr. Marky Mark's Lex Luthor.
Now he's redeemable. At least he started out being redeemable. I mean, there's been several different versions of him, and some of the versions, he was definitely somebody you could, possibly redeem them and really be, rehabilitate, might actually make him into a nice person and that kind of thing. But then there's the other ones that are so far gone, forget it. And yes, he definitely had some of those characteristics of a sociopath, psychopath, and narcissist, all wrapped up into one, depending on which particular Luthor you were watching.
Okay.
And some of them were pretty good looking too. But that's about the only redeeming quality.
Oh, Lord.
Oh boy.
This one I blame on Marky Mark. Miss Patricia, Lex Luthor.
I guess you could say he was charming, arrogant, conceited to a point, so.
Okay. Miss Maria.
Depending on where you watched him from, on Supergirl, he was arrogant, obnoxious, a brat.
There you
He
go.
was good looking, but his obnoxious, ugh. You just wanted to slap him.
See, Maria's saying exactly things. I'm agreeing with her because there's some of the Lex Luthors were, but that one on Supergirl, he had no redeeming qualities other than he was reasonably good looking.
No.
But yeah, you definitely wanted to jack slap him.
Oh, Lord. Miss Abby saved me.
for Lex. It doesn't matter who played him or in which version of him I've seen. I always just kind of felt bad for him. Smallville's Lex was ridiculous. Yes, definitely the worst Lex was on Supergirl, but I didn't like Supergirl as a show for whatever reason, so I didn't watch that much of it. But yeah, I was just kind of felt bad for him more so than, thinking he was mean.
Okay. Miss Gray.
So at the risk of getting booted off, I'm not a big DC fan. So my frame of reference for Lex Luthor is the old movies with Christopher Reeve. And the Lex Luthor there was just he was kind of comical and goofy and arrogant. He was kind of your stereotypical bad guy for back in that time period. And I mean, he was okay. He didn't do a whole lot for me. From the little bits I've seen of the more recent ones, they definitely seem more interesting, but I haven't seen them.
Okay. Okay. Una?
The only thing that I remember about Lex Luthor is he was bald. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
I don't remember much about him.
And I have to agree with Mr. Marky Mark that Smallville Lex Luthor was actually my favorite Lex Luthor of all. Because you did have that redeemable quality.
I would agree 100% on that one.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Calabas, where are we headed next, sir?
Well, we've already hit over the hour mark, and we had to lose one of our members of our groups, right? Ladies, I want to thank you for for this. Oh my gosh, dressed to the nine villains. Okay, you tickle me. You tickle me. Get with Lady Gray, discuss what subject you want to do next, and in 2 weeks we can do another show. If you choose to do so, you have your own chat group, so you post it up from there. I will get with Lady Gray next week, and we'll see what the show is going to be about, and we will roll with it. I want to thank all of you coming in, and Maria, thank you for finally getting to join us. We're going to still try to work out some technical stuff so we can get you on here the right way, hopefully soon, even if we have to go to Zoom, which I really don't want to do, but we can do it. And we have Mr. Marky Mark. Thank you, sir, for hanging with us. Definitely. Thank you. And ladies, I want you to have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I cannot wait to see your next subject.